Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Robert Shaw. Today I have a basketball video on the Most Improved Player Award. So a couple weeks ago, the idea came to my head, why is there not a first team all most improved? Every other award seems to have a team that coincides with it. So I sent out this tweet that you can see on the screen. MVP, all NBA. Defensive player, all defensive team. Rookie of the year, there's an all rookie team. But there's no all most improved team. And I don't even think the media would need to vote on the all most improved team any differently than they vote on the most improved player award. You submit your ballot for who you think is first, second, third, fourth, and fifth in most improved voting, or first, second, and third, and then they give you the top five. Obviously, whoever wins is the most improved player, and then the other four fill out your all most improved team. I thought that this was a fun activity, so I went back to 2001 and I did 2001 through 2010, and I found what the all most improved teams would be just by using the voting. And then I try and give a fun fact about each team. Hey, did people go on to win MVPs? How many championships did this group win? I don't particularly talk about who came in first in the award, like you'll see it on the screen, but that doesn't matter to me as much, because if I want to know who won the 2004 Most Improved Player Award, I can look it up and I can find a bunch of articles on that person. But it's not as easy to find, hey, who came in third or who was fourth in the voting. And that's really what this idea stems from. So without much further prelogue, let's just get into our first team. The first team is the 2001 team, and this is going to actually have 6 players because Baron Davis and Dirk Nowitzki tie for 5th. So your team is T-Mac, who wins the award, Peja Stojakovic, Steve Nash, Shawn Marion, Baron Davis, and Dirk. Aside from this team having 6 players, which is already unique, all 6 players on this team were all-stars at least twice. 3 of these guys win a championship together in 2011 as Dallas Mavericks. That's Peja Stojakovic, Shawn Marion, and of course Dirk. T-Mac is going to average the most in our 10-year grouping for Most Improved Player winner with 26.8. And this group is going to have 2 MVP winners in Steve Nash and Dirk Nowitzki. Our next year is 2002. Something that sticks out about 2002 is Steve Nash gets votes again. And this group is also going to have Ben Wallace, who wins the Defensive Player of the Year 4 times. And then they have a dunk contest winner. Can you guess the dunk contest winner from the list of Jermaine O'Neal, Ben Wallace, Steve Nash, Jerry Stackhouse, and Brent Barry? Well, if you guessed Brent Barry, you are a winner. Brent Barry is 30 and he's receiving votes. And if he would have won, he would have tied Darrell Armstrong in 1991 as the oldest player to win the Most Improved. He's the oldest person on the list in this list of 10 years that this video covers. Ben Wallace brings this group 1 championship, and Brent Barry, once again, brings it 2. So this group is going to have a total of 3 championships. The 2003 team features Ricky Davis, who is just a bundle of fun. Like, just plain and simple. It's also going to feature Tony Parker, who wins 4 championships. And that's all the championships for this group. And he also wins a finals MVP. And the last thing when it comes to this group is Gilbert Arenas is the best player Tony Parker couldn't hold a candle to him in his prime, but winning trumps all. So historically, people seem to love Parker more. The 2004 team features Andrei Kirilenko, which is the best initials nickname ever. His was AK-47. That's better than CP3. It's better than PG-13. It's AK-47, and the guy was Russian. Also, we have Michael Redd, a member of the Damn That Jumper Is Ugly, but Cash All-Stars. It's just not a pretty looking jumper, but it was money. James Posey wins 2 championships, one as a Celtic, one as a member of the Miami Heat. So this group has 2 titles. 2005 is the first time I encountered a name I just didn't remember. Primoz Brezak. I had no recollection of him at all, but apparently he was a center for the Bobcats, and according to Basketball Reference, in 2004/2005, he averaged 13 points and 7.4 rebounds. But what really sticks out about this team is that it featured young Wade, and young D Wade was a monster. 24, 5, and 7 with a steal and a half and a block a game. The last thing of note is that this group is older for this award, with everyone being over 22. Wade and Tayshaun Prince bring this group 4 championships, so they are tied with Tony Parker. Our next group is 2006, and what sticks out is that this group is all bigs, really. It's Boris Diaw, David West, Nenad Krstić, Chris Bosh, and Gerald Wallace. And 4 of those guys are definitely traditional 4 and 5s. And if we were to put Gerald Wallace in today's game, he would definitely be a 4. Other things about this team is they are also going to have 5 championships, which is the most in the 10-year window that we're looking at. Bosh has 2, David West has 2, and Fat Magic has 1. Look at some of these passes from Boris. That is Fat Magic Johnson. Our next team is 2007. It's a solid group. 3 votes separate Monte Ellis and Kevin Martin for first, which is as close as the voting gets between first and second in the 10 years we're looking at. Kevin Martin, another member of the Damn That Jumper Is Ugly, but Cash All-Stars. And then there's future Defensive Player of the Year and NBA championship with, surprise, surprise, the 2011 Mavs, Tyson Chandler. And just a fun fact here. Tyson Chandler and Andre Biedrins have very similar stats. Only Biedrins is 4 years younger at the time that they're both on this team and plays 5 less minutes. The only real difference is Chandler averages 12.4 rebounds and Biedrins 9.3. Other than that, they're basically identical. Given that I told you Biedrins is 4 years younger, who would you think is still on a roster in 2020? That's right, 37-year-old Tyson Chandler. Team 2008 is led by Hedo Turkoglu, and he is the second oldest person to ever win the award at age 28, only behind 1991 Darrell Armstrong. Rudy Gay is on this list, and let me tell you, coming out of UConn, I thought Rudy was going to be a monster. He had a really good NBA career, but I definitely don't think he lived up to his potential. And their championship comes courtesy of Rondo. And honestly, any excuse to throw up this Rondo video. I love it. 2008 is the first team you can make a very traditional basketball team out of. You'd put Devin Harris at point, Danny Granger and Durant at your wings, and then Paul Millsap and Nene up front. The second thing that you notice about this team is they had a trio of dudes getting buckets. For the first 4 years of Danny Granger's career, his average went up 6 points every year, stopping in 2009 when he averaged a career high 25.8. Then you have 20-year-old Kevin Durant averaging 25.3. And then Devin Harris, who's like the forgotten guard of this generation, of that era, averaged 21. This group has 2 titles from Kevin Durant's time with the Warriors. Let's move on to 2010. 2010, the first thing that pops out is 21-year-old Kevin Durant averaging a 30 burger. He's averaging 30 and he's just figuring out what beer tastes like. But Aaron Brooks ran away with this one. It was a 3-way tie for second between Durant, Gasol, and George Hill. And lastly, this group is going to have 4 championships. 2 from KD, 1 from Mark, and lastly 1 from Andrew Bogut. So that concludes looking at all those teams. Here's just a couple things that I learned while doing my research. So I had 51 players during this 10-year span. It would normally be 50, but remember the 2001 team featured 6 people because Baron Davis and Dirk tied for 5th. So I broke down by position. There were 11 point guards, 8 shooting guards, 13 small forwards, 10 power forwards, and 9 centers. Small forward had the most people represented position-wise. Shooting guard had the least, which sort of gels with what I remember simply based on the fact that the shooting guard was definitely one of the weaker positions during this time period. There were 2 point guard winners, 2 shooting guard winners, 3 small forward winners, and 3 power forward winners. There were no centers that won, but centers were still represented better than I would have expected, just because when I think about the Most Improved Player Award, I often think that it is a guard's award to win. But centers and power forwards are well represented here. They make up 19 of the 51 spots, which is also the same as point guards and shooting guards. And then I just hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys would like me to continue with 2011 through 2020 or 2019, since 2020's awards haven't come out, leave a comment below. I hope you guys found this interesting. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.